from the 801, bringing you the best pro wrestling on the planet. The only show you need to listen to. Opinions you won't hear anywhere else. Where we talk all day until the wheels fall. Or just until we hit our time goals. From the WWE to AEW to New Japan, back down to AAA in Mexico, along with every other promotion in between. This is First Pin. And now, here's your host, Kevin Danger.
Welcome to the First Pin Podcast. I am your humble and gracious host, Kevin Danger, and I want to thank you guys for joining me today on this episode where we have a super jam-packed episode. So make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and I want to thank you for checking me out today on this beautiful Saturday. So let's start off with WrestleMania 36 Night 1 because, yeah, a lot of stuff went down at this year's WrestleMania. To start off, we had Cesaro defeated Drew Gulak in a nice 8 to 10 minute technical match. After that, we had Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeat Asuka and Kairi Sane, the Kabuki Warriors, to become the new women's tag team champions. This was a good match. It did not surprise me that the Kabuki Warriors lost. I kind of knew that their time was up, so maybe it'll lead into Asuka and Kairi Sane having some singles titles run, and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross became two-time champs, two-time women's tag team champions. After that, we had Elias surprisingly defeated King Corbin after King Corbin basically almost killed him on Friday Night SmackDown. So that was super surprising. Then we had Becky Lynch defeated Shayna Baszler. But let's deep dive into this because I really want to share my opinion on this. I was disappointed with the outcome, but let's backtrack for a minute to where it all began at Survivor Series of last year when Shayna won the triple threat match, and then Becky put Shayna through a table. In that moment, we knew that Shayna would be coming after Becky Lynch. Now leading up to when Shayna attacked Becky after the Royal Rumble, right? Everyone remembers that bite that made Becky steal an ambulance or whatever. Then she came back and right away challenged Shayna. Then we had the build to this match, which was a bit rough, honestly, at the start. But the last 2 to 3 weeks on Raw and the promos between these two were really good. So now let's go into the match because honestly it was good overall. They went back and forth, and in the end Shayna put in her specialty submission on Becky, and I was like, okay, this is it. This is where she's going to get the win. And Becky Lynch basically pushed back, landed on top of Shayna in a way that Shayna's shoulders would be on the mat, and she got the pin to retain the belt. And I was pissed off with the result, honestly, of the match. Let me tell you why. They have Shayna basically destroy the Raw women's roster at Elimination Chamber for this. Really? It makes no sense whatsoever. What was the point of that, WWE? Because they do this time and time again. They build someone up for failure. Becky is great and all, but it's time to see her fall and rebuild herself back up. They act like the best never lose their title anymore. Who's gonna be her next opponent? Yeah, people are saying possibly still Shayna, but are we sure that's the case? To me, they already dropped the ball on Shayna, unless they want to wait until there's a live crowd to do it. But by then, just have Ronda Rousey come back instead. It sucks because Shayna dominated in NXT, but that's how it is when you go to the main roster most of the time. After that, we had Sami Zayn defeated Daniel Bryan to retain the Intercontinental Championship. Now, this was a little bit of a weird match because, yeah, it was just like a little bit of a weird match. I mean, it took a while for Sammy to really fight back, but when he did, it turned into these guys were just delivering these big old shots on each other. Then we had John Morrison defeated Kofi Kingston and Jimmy Uso to remain the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. This happened because The Miz, like I said, was sick, so they didn't do that triple threat ladder match. Then after that, we had Kevin Owens finally got his WrestleMania moment, defeating Seth Rollins. Now, if you haven't seen it by now, it had that gnarly moment where Kevin Owens threw himself off of that WrestleMania sign and did an elbow drop from that WrestleMania sign on Seth Rollins through the announcer table. Then after that, we had Braun Strowman defeated Goldberg to become the new Universal Champion. And I want to break this down real quick as well because of what people are saying about this online. It's a bunch of mixed reactions to me because it had no build-up, which was dumb in my opinion. But what else did we expect from this match? Goldberg hit about 4 spears and wanted to do a jackhammer, and that's basically Braun stopped that and then hit him with 4 running power slams to get the 1, 2, 3 on Goldberg. Goldberg can barely go nowadays. He's over 50, like 53. Come on. And if you hear the interview when he beat Bray Wyatt at Saudi Arabia, he was breathing really heavily. He was just like, I did everything I could to beat Bray Wyatt, and I knew I was gonna beat him and this and that. Like, dude, he was straight up out of breath, and that was like a 4-minute match. Plus, Goldberg has never been known for putting on long matches. I mean, Braun will always have that in his career where he could say he beat a Hall of Famer for the title. And honestly, I think he will hold the title off until Roman Reigns comes back, which also pissed me off that WWE didn't even acknowledge it at all. They just said on Friday Night SmackDown, hey, by the way, Roman Reigns will not be competing at WrestleMania 36, and here's his replacement, Braun Strowman. Which I think will result in Braun Strowman going heel once again. And I do believe sooner or later we will still get Roman Reigns versus Goldberg one day. Possibly not at a WrestleMania, maybe at one of the big pay-per-views. But yeah, I mean, that's what I thought about the match. You know, the biggest thing was the whole Roman, them not mentioning Roman, and there was really no build-up. They should at least had Goldberg come out, you know, not to be a heel, but saying, okay, well, since Roman Reigns is not going to challenge me anymore for whatever reason, then who's going to challenge me now? And then you have Braun Strowman's music come out and say, you're going to get these hands or something. You know, not just be like, oh, well, one guy's out, this guy's in. Moving on. Anyways, after that, we had Undertaker defeat AJ Styles in the Boneyard Match Classic. Now, this to me was honestly match of the night for night one. Honestly, probably the top 3 matches of WrestleMania. So let's jump into it. Where do I start with the cinematic masterpiece? Some loved it, some hated it, but you gotta admit, Undertaker has been reborn and he has been reinvented. I could see this in the future of The Undertaker. Maybe another 5 Manias with these kind of matches would be awesome. Yeah, we could see Sting versus Undertaker, and something like this would be awesome. If you haven't seen it, you're missing out. It looked like it could have been a scene out of a biker movie or some Sons of Anarchy type stuff. The trash talk throughout the whole thing was awesome. AJ arrived in a casket. Well, a hearse pulled up, and then they were carrying out a casket. Sorry, just dropped my phone. And then they were carrying out the casket, and I thought it was the Undertaker, but then it turned out to be AJ Styles, and Taker ended up arriving shortly on a Harley. Taker starts beating up on AJ. I think he slams him on the casket at one point. Then AJ is laying on the hearse, and AJ ends up trying to fight back a bit, but Taker still takes advantage. Taker pulls out something like if he's about to stab AJ because AJ's through one of the hearse's windows, and then he moves, and Taker's hand goes through one of the windows, which cuts him up. I read online that that part wasn't planned at all. It basically, no, not basically, it was a real cut. But they kept on recording because I'm pretty sure they still checked to see if he was okay, make sure that he didn't cut vein or something on his arm. So they kept recording because they thought, hey, this would look awesome in the movie anyways. So some other big spots was when Gallows and Anderson came out to attack Undertaker. Then Taker fought back, and AJ breaks a tombstone on the Undertaker. That was some pretty crazy stuff. Some other memorable moments is when AJ drags Taker in the hole and gets on the tractor. Basically, drags him into the hole because it was a hole. The hole was there because it was a buried alive match, pretty much. So he dragged the Undertaker in there, and he gets on the tractor, and he's still talking smack, saying that it's his fault, that this is all gonna end right now. And then there's like a white, big white light shining on AJ while he's on there, and out of nowhere, the Undertaker pops out, and he's right behind him, and he just starts beating on him and takes him down from that tractor. Then there's a part where they're on top of a barn. There's like some kind of barn there. They're on top of the barn, and Taker shoots fire out of nowhere because AJ's trying to run away. So, Undertaker has those supernatural powers. And then after that, Gallows Gallows and Anderson out of nowhere are up there, and he throws one of them off. He just straight up just chucks them off, and then he tombstones the other one on top of the barn. He then choke slams AJ from the top of the barn, and he lands on like a wooden crate. I mean, yeah, I think it was a wooden crate that broke AJ's fall. After that, Taker just basically drags Styles, holds him up, gives him some kind of hug or whatever because AJ's saying sorry and this and that. Then Taker just gives him the big boot, boom, and he falls right in the hole. After that, Taker sits on the tractor and pours the dirt on him for the win. Finally, Taker drives off in his bike with some awesome pyro and a big laser showing off his cross style logo. And then it cuts back to AJ in the hole, and then you see a hand of AJ just popped up there with his glove, basically signaling, hold up, wait a minute, something else. Not something else, but this is far from over. So, like I said, this was an awesome Boneyard match, and I loved it. And the fans who loved it, well, they just loved it. Honestly, it was awesome. I just can't stop saying it. Yeah, it was silly. It was cinematic. Is that the future wrestling? I hope not. But for someone like The Undertaker, maybe it is in his. Maybe it is supposed to be in his future a bit more, because it's him taking. He's taking like fewer bumps because it's a lot of let's record here, let's do this scene, stop, let's do this scene, stop, let's do this, stop. So that's a bit safer for him and for whoever he is going up against. AJ did an amazing job on selling. That's why, sorry, that's why it fits so well, because AJ just did an amazing job when it came to selling. You couldn't ask for someone to sell better than how AJ did. So that's pretty much it for night one. I thought it was really good. Like I said, to me, of course, the match of the night was Undertaker defeating AJ Styles. Um, yeah, the other match that I really enjoyed was the John Morrison defeating Kofi Kingston and Jimmy Uso. That one had a controversial finish. They were fighting up on top. All three of them were on the ladder fighting for the belts, and then they pushed John Morrison off, and he landed on another ladder. And when he got pushed off, he basically pulled the belts with him. So that one was interesting. That was a good ladder match. But yeah, other than that, night one was just bearable. Honestly, it wasn't the best to me, compared to night two. So let's jump right into night two. In the kickoff show, we have Liv Morgan defeating Natalia, which in my eyes, I believe is the strongest win that Liv Morgan has gotten since she became a singles competitor. And then after that, we're going to jump into the first match of the night, Charlotte Flair defeating Rhea Ripley to become the new NXT Women's Champion. Now, let me defend this decision. I have seen so many people complain about Charlotte Flair too much. If that's you, then you just don't get it. Just look at the women's division in NXT. It's the best out of all of the three brands. And think about all the matches we can see with Charlotte Flair. Flair versus Dakota Kai versus Io Shirai versus Tegan Knox. Flair versus Candice LeRae. The list is endless. Yes, she's a 10-time WWE Women's Champion, but she loves competition, which, like I said, the NXT Women's Division is the best in the company. Plus, they need to book Rhea Ripley in a way that she starts winning again to re earn her title and get a shot against Charlotte Flair once again. And have that be the main event at the next NXT takeover once we get past this pandemic, of course. I mean, a lot of people are saying, oh, it could be part of a SummerSlam or one of the main shows, one of the big shows from the main roster from Raw or SmackDown, however you want to put it. But I honestly think this would be better on a takeover because it is going to be giving more eyes to the takeover shows. Plus, they're going to make Rhea Ripley look way stronger because this is exactly what they should have done with Becky Lynch from night one at WrestleMania. People were complaining saying that this buried Rhea, that they buried Rhea just like that. And I strongly believe that that's not the case here. Just wait and watch how the story will play out. I would be completely shocked if Rhea Ripley doesn't beat Charlotte for the belt. And with Charlotte, it's going to make that division way better since to me, she is one of the best in the company. And just watch this amazing match if you haven't because it was amazing. It looked like a straight up real fight. To me, it was the best match that happened inside the ring. And yes, I do mean it. I seen this whole WrestleMania and to me the top matches are the Boneyard match, the Firefly Funhouse match, and the best in ring match was this. These women were straight up beating up on each other. They weren't letting the other put on a move easily. No, they were fighting. They were making sure, Rhea was making sure that Charlotte earned every shot, every move, and the same with Charlotte. She made sure that Rhea earned every shot and every move. That was an awesome match. It sucked. I wish they would have had an audience there for that match, but it's understandable due to the circumstances. Then after that, we had Alistair Black. What's a flack? Oh man, it is too early for this. Alistair Black defeated Bobby Lashley. This match went a little bit longer than I expected. Towards the end, Bobby Lashley was winning, and Lana he was about to hit him with I think like a running power slam or something, and Lana's yelling at him, "No, hit him with the spear! Hit him with the spear!" And he's like, I, I don't know what Bobby was thinking. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna hit him with my spear." Puts him down, right? Goes to one of the corners and is about to hit him with the spear. Runs and boom, black mass, and it's over. Like, dude, what are you doing? You were taking advantage. Then you're gonna give him a breather, and he hits you with the black mass, and you're done. Then we had, I think, what I thought was the greatest WrestleMania moment: Otis defeating Dolph Ziggler. So these guys were going at it for a good while. Sonya Deville ended at one part, the ref wasn't paying attention. Oh no, she was distracting Otis, and Dolph Ziggler came from behind and boom, hit him with the low blow. And then Mandy Rose came out, and then she straight up slapped Sonya Deville, and then she straight up hit Dolph Ziggler in between the knackers, and Otis ended up doing his I think the caterpillar elbow drop, if that's what it's called. Sorry, and basically got the 1, 2, 3. Manny goes in, he picks her up and gives her a big old fat kiss, and Otis, you dog, you got the girl, you got Mandy Rose, and I hope you are having the time of your life with her. Honestly, it was an awesome moment, possibly going to go down, even though the crowd would have gone crazy with that. But they are going to make an awesome couple, and honestly, I wouldn't have had that go any other way. I kind of was thought Dolph Ziggler, but like I said last week on the podcast, due to everything that happened, I was like, all right, this is Otis's night, and yes, it was, and that was awesome. Then we had Edge defeat Randy Orton in the last man standing match. Now this match, it was to me a bit long, and I mean I understand it. You want to show that hey Edge can still go for a long time, But I feel like maybe if this thing would have cut down to like 20, 25 minutes, it would have been better. There is a controversial, well, something that sparked a lot of talk, buzz, at one of the fight scenes or whatever, one of the fight, not even a fight scene, but whatever it is, these guys are fighting in the performance center, and I think the weight room or whatever, and Randy Orton attempts to choke Edge with the cord of the weights, which is kind of similar to how Chris Benoit committed suicide. I mean, it flew right past me until I saw online people were talking about it, and I was just like, oh, the finish was with a concerto for Edge to get the 10 count or whatever. And yeah, it was a good match. I mean, to me, it was a good match. It did go long. Like I said, I would have cut that down to 20 to 25 minutes, but I totally understand. After that, we had the Street Profits defeated Angel Garza and Austin Theory. Um, in the end of this, right? I don't know. Sorry, just blanked there. Anyways, yeah, they ended up winning to stay the Raw Tag Team Champions. After that, we had Bayley win the Fatal 5-Way Elimination match to retain her SmackDown Women's Champion. Now, in the final three, you had Bayley, Sasha, and Lacey Evans. So I think Lacey Evans was charging at Bayley, kind of like in a woman's rider or whatever. She was gonna hit her with that shot. She basically like pushed her out of the way and straight up knocked out Sasha Banks and got the 1-2-3 on Sasha. Lacey got the 1-2-3 on Sasha. And this is kind of where it all kind of stirred up because we're like, oh, wait a minute. I mean, I thought at that moment, I was like, okay, so maybe Lacey Evans is going to walk away with the belt, but that was kind of already starting. I mean, throughout the match, there was kind of already some friction between Sasha and Bayley. I mean, I don't mind that Bayley won because it looks like we will be getting that Sasha Banks versus Bayley rivalry, hopefully. So that's going to be awesome. Sorry, I had to drink some water. Because then we had the Fiend Bray Wyatt defeat John Cena in a Firefly Funhouse match. So this is going to be a deep dive that hopefully helps you understand this match just a bit more. It all really starts when Cena is in a dark room and the Vince McMahon puppet shows up and starts saying ruthless aggression regarding to when Vince was cutting that promo looking for the next big star in the early 2000s. Insert we see John Cena in his old prototype ring gear when he debuted against Kurt Angle, but it shows Bray Wyatt portraying Kurt Angle. And you have Cena do the same thing, comes out, Bray Wyatt cuts the same promo that Kurt Angle did, and John Cena says, he says the same thing, ruthless aggression. But, if you know that moment, that's when Cena he straight up hit, strike. He straight up hit, yeah, he strike that, or threw the punch, my bad, threw the punch straight up at Kurt, and Kurt got hit, and that's what led into that match. But in this one, Bray Wyatt moves when it happened, which Bray says that this is a failure. And it's true, because even John Cena has said that his debut, even though it was memorable, it led to failure because he almost got fired. The next scene is a throwback to Saturday night's main event. You have Bray and Cena doing an old school promo behind an old school steel cage. Cena is just pumping away with some weights. This indicates another chance. That after the prototype stuff, that John Cena was given another chance. His arms stopped working. He was just pumping. He's like, I can't feel my arms, and he was just like, I can't do anything with my arms, which means that he can't that at that moment he couldn't just rely on his looks to take him far in the company. Now this is out of left field though, on my part. But this is an old promo reference to Hogan versus King Kong Bundy in a steel cage match that Hogan won. Though many say that this was when Hogan buried Bundy in that match. The rumors are Bundy was supposed to win, but Hogan didn't allow it. Now, I may be wrong, but let's keep going and see how this all fits in. After then, it shows Cena walking back down the ring as the doctor of thugonomics. This shows how when John gained popularity popularity and rose to the top, but due to his lyrics that he used, he buried a lot of people and rubbed people the wrong way with this gimmick. Then Cena spits rhymes that are written, and it shows how bad it would have been if his rhymes were written by creative or by someone else. The next scene it cuts to the old Bray Wyatt when he debuted on the main roster as this new cult leader character, which then plays into the WrestleMania 30 story that Wyatt was rising to the top in his own way. All Cena had to do was his part in that match, which was to swing that chair at him. But Cena chose not to because he thought that Bray wasn't ready, though the fans wanted Bray Wyatt. And Cena, of course, did not want to turn heel. It goes back to Cena and Bray in the ring that now Cena swung the chair, but it's too late and Bray Wyatt fades away. Then it shows the WCW Monday Night Nitro NWO style that Cena's yeah, it shows that style and Cena's coming down and he's like Hollywood Hulk Hogan. He's got the shirt, the hat, the World Heavyweight Championship with the NWO. Cena comes out while Bray Wyatt is portraying Eric Bischoff announces Cena, like how when Eric Bischoff announced Hulk Hogan in the NWO. This signals the heel turn that never was for Cena because Cena was afraid to make the jump and disappoint all of those who were already believing in him and were loving the way that he was. This is basically to me another shot at Hogan because Hogan and the NWO, as we know, buried a lot of talent in WCW as well, like Cena has done to Bray Wyatt. Cena then snaps, attacks Bray, and throws punches at him. Then it shows him, I mean, he's throwing punches, and at first we kind of see Bray, but then we kind of don't see what's going on, and then it's Huskus the pig. Then we get a flashback of all the failures in John Cena's career, and now they all shot pretty fast. I got online to make sure I can confirm every little flashback that was shown. Him getting booed at ECW One Night Stand, him losing to Edge, losing to Shawn Michaels, losing to Batista, The Miz taking him down at WrestleMania with help from The Rock. Him losing to CM Punk at Money in the Bank, losing to The Rock in the Once in a Lifetime, losing to Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton unifying the WWE Champion in the World Heavyweight Championship instead of John Cena, his armband of Never Give Up being left in the ring after losing to AJ Styles at SummerSlam, losing to Roman Reigns, and losing to The Undertaker at WrestleMania 34. Cena played it safe throughout his career. Once he made it to the top, and it cost him everything in the end. The Fiend then shows up and takes out Cena. Cena then vanishes after the match. This showed to me the passing of the torch finally. Bray Wyatt is a full timer and Cena isn't. To me, it was clear that what this was, but crazy that Cena agreed to this to display all his failures amongst the fans. I thought once the Fiend popped up, it would then show an abandoned warehouse and the Fiend would destroy Cena. But all of this that hit Cena basically destroyed him, which led into the Fiend winning easily. Some loved it, some hated it. Watch it again, and if you heard me talk about it and enjoy it for what it was a masterpiece. To finish, I want to leave this before moving on to the main event of night two, of course. Hogan was 42 when he finally turned heel. Is it too late for a John Cena heel turn, maybe? I know he's more into Hollywood doing movies now, but what if Cena was to come back for at least a full year, giving the fans a heel run? I, for one, would love to see that happen. What about you guys? especially since The Fiend has changed everyone that he has beaten, from Finn Balor to Daniel Bryan, The Miz, etc. I mean, the heel turn is what basically rejuvenated Hogan's career, and we got a couple more years out of him in the NWO. Not saying that John Cena needs to do his own NWO, but it could lead to a John Cena heel turn. Who knows? After that, we had Drew McIntyre defeated Brock Lesnar to become the new WWE champion. And this match was exactly what I thought it was going to be. A quick match, it was. Suplexes from Brock to Drew, then he hit him with an F5 and Drew kicked out at one. Brock with a couple more S5s until Drew finally reversed him and got him with not one, not two, but three Claymore kicks to pick up the win and become the champion. I do wish we would have gotten at least 3 to 5 more minutes of this match. These guys could have put on an amazing match, but I don't know why. Maybe it could be because Brock doesn't really like putting on good matches with big guys, or maybe, just maybe, it could be leading up to an angle. I would like to see them start to use Brock in a different way, though. I know this sounds crazy, but what about Brock Lesnar babyface turn? And it's so simple. You have Paul Heyman caught a promo on him saying that he is done with Brock because Brock has lost so many big matches. Losing to Drew this year, losing to Seth last year, not only once but twice, losing to Seth and Roman at WrestleMania 31. Hell, even losing to Goldberg as well. Paul can just say that he doesn't see it in Brock anymore. That the WWE can humanize Brock like they have with the Undertaker. In the end, we can have Paul Heyman come back with the next big thing. Who that may be is up in the air, but I just wanted to share this idea with y'all to see what y'all thought. So that pretty much is the whole everything that happened at WrestleMania. I thought it was awesome for what it was. Like, to me, like I said, the top three were the Boneyard match, the Firefly Funhouse match, and the best in ring match was Charlotte Flair defeating Rhea Ripley.
Here are your wrestling news and rumors.
So for the wrestling news and rumors, we're going to start off with the first one that says 13.8 million social media interactions from WrestleMania, which is way up 57% from last year's WrestleMania. Friday Night SmackDown's rating was a 2.398. According to PW Insider, Mike Cole has been promoted to the vice president of announcing. That's awesome. Monday Night Raw pulled in a 2.10 million rating. According to PWI Insider, Rhea Ripley's work visa had supposedly expired, and it was thought that she was in Australia working to get that fixed, which it was unclear when she would be able to return, which could have resulted in her losing to Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania. But this was debunked by Rhea Ripley herself when she posted on IG saying, "Yo, wrestling world, still in America." According to Fightful, in addition to WrestleMania becoming the most social event in WWE history, WWE set WrestleMania week viewership records with more than 967 million video views across the company's digital and social platforms, including WWE Network, WWE.com, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Snapchat, an increase of 20% year over year. Additionally, a record 46 million hours of content was consumed during the WrestleMania week, and an increase of 28% year over year. According to WrestleZone, with this being read off of PW Mania, the decision to have WWE Hall of Famer Bill Goldberg win the WWE Universal title from The Fiend Bray Wyatt at Super Showdown earlier this year was a last-minute change. Goldberg reportedly did not want to risk damaging his image, so he bargained for creative control to push for the title win because The Fiend was a monster and younger fans needed to see Goldberg come out on top or it would ruin his character. Goldberg has said in the past that he believes kids see him as a superhero. No, they don't, you old bat. You're 53 years old. It was noted that Wyatt agreed to put Goldberg over, which may have gained him some more favor in the locker room. There's no word yet on if Goldberg will return to a WWE ring, but it could be for a long time, if at all. Wrestle Talk reports that Goldberg's current deal had his final appearance at WrestleMania 36 this past weekend, where he dropped the title to Braun Strowman. Strowman was replacing Roman Reigns, who didn't feel safe competing during the coronavirus pandemic due to his immune system. Goldberg reportedly had no intention of adding more dates to his contract, but it also was noted that the WWE may not be in a hurry to bring him back anytime soon due to how he lobbied for the change with The Fiend. Goldberg, you ruined The Fiend Bray Wyatt that night. And yeah, for you to say, like I said, for you to come out and say that you're a superhero to younger fans, dude, some of these younger fans don't even know you. So relax, Goldberg. Just relax. According to WrestleVotes, they tweeted on Tuesday evening all indications from. Oh my bad. According to WrestleVotes, they tweeted on Tuesday evening, and I quote: "All indications from 3 different sources I have spoken to believe that whenever we see the Undertaker next, it will be indeed this new ABA style Taker from the Boneyard match this past Saturday." Awesome, I love that. It's awesome to see this new character, which is a mixture of the American Badass and the Dead Man and Big Evil. It's all 3 locked up into one. Jordan Devlin was stripped off the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, and they will be holding a tournament to determine an interim champion. It was announced by William Regal on WWE's The Bump this week. Angelina Love has decided to stay and re-sign with Ring of Honor. Awesome for her. According to Pro Wrestling Sheet, Jake Roberts, quarantined in a hotel room, believes wrestling needs to go on hold due to the COVID-19. He said, "We got to buckle down." He added, "As much as I hate it, we got to do what's smart. I'm not a doctor or anything, but that's all I hear on television. We got to go home, just go home and stay there until all of this stuff is gone." Well, he said something else. I just didn't want to cuss. He said, "We've all got to pull together. It really chaps my behind to see people not paying attention to what they're asking us to do and that they're doing the same old thing they always do. It shows you how selfish some people can be. They're going to cause this thing to last longer than it should, and if we just do the right thing now, people like that should be arrested and put in jail." Jake also revealed that he's currently quarantined in a hotel room in Atlanta for a few weeks following his last live appearance on Dynamite in the makeshift crowd of talent. I'm quarantined in here. I was living with Dallas, DDP, and whenever all of this started, Dallas was one of the first people saying, "I'm locking down. If you leave, you can't come back." Well, AEW wanted me to come out, so what did I do? I went and did it, but then I couldn't come back to Dallas's house and stayed. And Robert stated he had a baby in the house, and nobody needs to be sick, especially around a baby. He took the hard line and said, "Dude, if you leave, you can't come back." I had to do it for AEW as I want to help these guys, and now I'm paying for it, brother. Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux were spotted at the end of NXT this week. Um, NXT finally got their first win of the year, and the ratings going 693,000 to AEW 692,000. Yes, they barely won by 1,000. Then, just yesterday, we had WWE release the Revival. They ended up releasing Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder. And it was also reported yesterday by TMZ Sports that Ronda Rousey says that she will not return to the WWE full-time due to the ungrateful fans. She said this when she was asked on the Steve O podcast. Now, that's pretty crazy that she said that. I mean, it's understandable. A lot of fans did not like her. And, I mean, do what you got to do, Ronda. Hopefully we do at least see you part-time. At least see you come back and rip off Becky Lynch's face. But, I mean, it is what it is, right? She's living her life, doing what she's got to do. Now, let's jump into Monday Night Raw. So on Monday Night Raw, Asuka defeated Liv Morgan. in the opening match, which was a really good match. It showed once again that Liv Morgan is improving each and every time she is in the ring. After that, we have the Street Profits defeated Austin Theory and Angel Garza via DQ, which led into Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega, which ended in a no contest, which was dumb. Why did you guys not let Bianca Belair get her first win on Monday Night Raw? But she did, right? Because the Street Profits and Bianca Belair defeated Angel Garza, Austin Theory, and Zelina Vega. This was just done to kill time on Raw, which is ridiculous. You go from a tag team match to a singles match to now let's do a 6-man mixed match. Sorry, ridiculous. After that, Aleister Black defeated Apollo Crews. This was a really good match. I think it went up close to like 20 minutes, but man, they put on a really good match. I think that's the best match Apollo Crews has ever had on either show, and he showed out really, really good. After that, we had Ricochet and Cedric Alexander defeat Oni Larkin and Danny Burch. I'm excited to see Ricochet and Cedric as a tag team. They're going to be an awesome tag team. Then we had Seth Rollins defeat Denzel DeJournette in a squash match, which was weird to see Seth Rollins get a squash match. Then we had Humberto Carrillo defeated Brendan Vink. Then we had Drew McIntyre defeated The Big Show. This was apparently at WrestleMania after he beat Brock, which was a way better match than Brock versus Big Show. Honestly, it was. It went like 8 minutes. And it was just basically done to show. I mean, yeah, it did not make sense that this happened at WrestleMania, but it was just basically done to say, hey, you know what? He just beat Brock Lesnar, and then a couple minutes later, he went out and beat Big Show, or because Drew McIntyre was cutting a promo saying that he was super grateful that he couldn't believe it, and Big Show came out and challenged him to. It was said, "I'm not challenging you to a match, but I am in my wrestling attire, and you're still in your wrestling attire, so I am challenging to you. I am going to challenge you to a match." Raw was, I mean, oh, I just realized I didn't even put it on here. My bad. We did have Nia Jax return, and she had a squash match. I don't know why I did not write that in here, but yeah, Nia Jax, she returned to the WWE, which is awesome. Though they should have saved her for crowd reaction, but I totally understand. So now let's go into AEW Dynamite. So AEW started off with the Jake Roberts promo once again, saying that in this TNT Championship that he wouldn't be surprised if Cody Rhodes was to lose tonight, because maybe Cody doesn't want to take on Lance Archer. Then we had Lance Archer defeated Alan Angels. Then we went to Hikaru Shida defeating Britt Baker. This was honestly the best women's match that I have seen from AEW. If you haven't seen the pictures, it has a bloody face. It has a part where Britt Baker gets busted on her nose and there's blood all over the place, and AEW just made a t-shirt on that. And dude, is Britt Baker getting over. Can't wait to see what they're gonna do with her. They're pushing her to the moon. Yes, she's been losing, but she's been getting over. Then we had the Best Friends defeated Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa. Then we had a Brody Lee vignette. Matt Hardy then challenged Chris Jericho and the Inner Circle to an Elite Deletion, which it looks, I mean, maybe because there isn't gonna be a blood and guts match, maybe they're gonna do an Elite Deletion match, which is gonna be like a final deletion match at the Hardy compound. We'll see next week if Chris Jericho responds. Then we had Brody Lee defeated Lee Johnson in another squash match. And in the main event, we had Cody defeated Shawn via pin, which is kind of weird to say in that way because Cody put Shawn in a figure four. Spears was in so much pain, he fell back that both of his shoulders were on the mat, which the ref counted to a 1, 2, 3, which was the first time I have ever seen anybody I mean, he didn't even pass out. It wasn't even a Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin moment. He just passed, like he didn't pass out. He was just in so much pain that he pulled his shoulders on the mat and they got the 1, 2, 3, which was an extreme weird way to pick up that win. AEW, it was a good show. I mean, it wasn't their best show, but I mean, yeah, it was a good show. I mean, I'm not going to lie. Then we had
Wednesday night NXT.
So in NXT, Io Shirai won the ladder match to become the new number one contenders for the NXT Women's Championship. Now, this match had some pretty gnarly bumps. Uh, One of them was Raquel Gonzalez came out and she was put through a table with between I think it was Mia Yim and Tegan Knox. She was trying to come in and interrupt the match, and they put her through a table. Another scene that looked pretty crazy was I think Chelsea Green had her leg up on one of it got stuck on one of the ladders, and I don't remember who it was. Someone just swung at that ladder. They swung at her leg in that ladder with the chair. That looked like it. She was just yelling in pain. And this was a really good match. This was a match that I wish they would have had a live crowd because yeah, it was just that good of a match. So it's gonna be interesting that we're gonna get to see Io Shirai versus Charlotte Flair. That's gonna be one hell of a match. Then we had Indus Shures defeated Everrise. This Indus Sure whatever are those guys that attacked Matt Riddle. Um, yeah, man, they have to improve a lot. I did not really see much in this match. Uh, yeah, it's just kind of hard to talk about it because it looked sloppy. It wasn't super strong. Like, dude, these guys are two big dudes. Everrise is not that big. I don't know who Everrise even is. They're not that big of dudes. For them to be struggling the way that they struggled to finish them off. So that was interesting. Then we had the main event where Johnny Gargano defeated Tommaso Ciampa. Now this match basically covered the whole second hour of the show. And it was kind of hard to see this match. Sorry. It was kind of hard to see this match coming off of what we just saw at what's it called at WrestleMania between my legs. What we saw at WrestleMania between Randy Orton and Edge. Um, this was more centered in they were like in an abandoned warehouse or whatever. Now the ending is what really I still don't know how to feel about the ending because before the match, Candice LeRae was like dropping off Johnny Gargano, which was pretty funny. It was like a soccer mom dropping off the kid for practice or whatever. And then she shows up towards the end of the match, right? These guys are beating the crap out of each other. And she shows up at the end, like basically what was going to be the ending of the match. And she's like, "Oh, you see, Tommaso, I hate my husband now and this and that." And before the match, I guess she gave him something, which we didn't really see what it was in the beginning to Johnny. And she straight up kicks Johnny in the nads, right? And Johnny sells it like he got hit. But he didn't get hit because he had a cup. She then turns around and hits Tommaso in the nads. And then Gargano pulls out the cup. And then he hits Tommaso Ciampa with Tommaso Ciampa's own finisher. Then the ref comes in and gets the 1, 2, 3. Now, the reason I have a little bit of trouble with this is because, first of all, dude, this means that it's not over. Tommaso's going to want revenge. He's going to come out and challenge Candice LeRae to a death match or something. But there was a bump. Like, they knocked out the ref. And that's when Candice LeRae came in and did all this. Why are you knocking down the ref if it's a no DQ match? You don't need a ref bump in this situation. You honestly don't. It just didn't make sense. It didn't make sense to me whatsoever that they had to do this. I mean, the ending was what it was, and then in the end is where you see Killer Cross and Scarlett Bordeaux in their car. Who knows what they were doing? um, It's going to be interesting to see who Killer Cross was technically there for. Was he there for Gargano or was he there for Ciampa? We'll see next week, I guess. Now let's move on.
Friday Night SmackDown.
On Friday Night SmackDown, we had Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross defeated. They hit a Fisherman neck breaker to beat the Kabuki Warriors once again. They hit that move on Nikki Cross hit that move on Kairi Sane to retain the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Then we had Dolph Ziggler defeated Tucker. The Forgotten Sons have defeated the Lucha House Party. And by what I was seeing online, the Forgotten Sons have officially moved up to SmackDown. Then we had Sheamus defeated Cal Bloom in a squash match. And so to start off the show, we had Braun Strowman come out, and then we had Shinsuke Nakamura interrupt him and challenge him to a match. Braun Strowman defeated Shinsuke Nakamura, and then the interesting thing happened. We had Bray Wyatt come out. Well, he didn't come out, right? He had a Firefly Funhouse match, basically saying, "Hey, Braun, you betrayed us. You betrayed your family. I brought you in. I created you. Now I'm going to take you out because you have what I want. I want my title back." Now, this is where it is super interesting because this is going to go one or two ways. We're going to have Braun, because in the end, Braun Strowman was, Bray did his whole thing saying, Bray's like, "Oh, I'm not going to play these games." And then he's like, "Oh, well, you're too busy talking about people getting these hands. I'm going to show you these, I'm going to give you some manners." And in the end, it ended off, and Bray's like, "Bye." And Braun's like, "Wait. Just so you know, I'm ready to let you in. Bye." Right? Like he was saying, I guess it's kind of teasing this heel turn, but it's going to be interesting in the way that, okay, so if Bray Wyatt's coming after Braun Strowman for the Universal title, you're kind of booking yourself into a corner again, once again, WWE, because you're either going to have Braun Strowman beat The Fiend or beat Bray Wyatt, which is going to affect that in a way. I mean, if you were to have him beat, I would just have him beat Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend. In no way get The Fiend involved in this because you don't want to damage The Fiend more than what he's been damaged. But if you have Bray Wyatt win the Universal Championship, well, he's beating Braun Strowman, right? Which is totally understandable. Well, he brought him in, he can take him out. But you're having him beat Braun Strowman after Strowman just beat a Hall of Famer. And not only that, you also got to look at it in a different way that well, a lot of people I'm already seeing a lot of people don't want Bray Wyatt back as the Universal Champion. And where is that going to push with Roman Reigns when Roman Reigns come back? If Bray Wyatt wins the belt from Braun Strowman and he is the champion going up against Roman Reigns, well, once this thing is back with fans are going to want Bray Wyatt over Roman. So that's just all I wanted to say there. That was super interesting. Let it see. Yeah, we're under an hour. So let me check. I'm gonna check on. I think we're basically done. Let me see. Oh, the Revival have seemingly reported their new ring names. Let's see. The Revival from Wrestle Talk. Oh yeah, on the Revival getting released, they left without a 90-day non-complete cost, meaning that they could wrestle for any promotion because it was an immediate release. Here it goes. It says Dash Wilder has changed his Twitter name to Cash Wheeler, and it seems like this will be his new ring name. And Scott Dawson has also changed his name on the social media platform to Dax Harwood. Harwood. Anyways, so that's awesome. Most likely they're gonna end up, I think, in AEW. I think it would be awesome if they can work out a contract where they can go to New Japan as well, because both companies have really good tag team divisions. Let's see. Let me see what else. I'm scrolling down my Twitter. And yeah, I guess that's the only news for now. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So that's pretty much it. We're coming in at just about 53 minutes. Now, I want to take a quick minute in the end here. Um, if you are listening to this or whatever the case is the easiest way to find me now is well to find the channel will be firstpin.net. I have officially bought in that domain, and that is the domain that I will be using, firstpin.net. I am going to be taking out like a bunch of clips hopefully out of this, especially in the WrestleMania conversations, and try to attract people. I am working on about 10 videos, 10 small videos, some top 10 lists, and some other stuff. I am working on those, trying to get those ready. Tomorrow I will be recording the Dark Side of the Ring review for The Life and Crimes of New Jack and The Brawl for All. I saw those twice this week, and man, what a review those are going to be. It's going to be interesting to talk about those. And like I said, I want to thank you guys for listening. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and I appreciate every single view that I am getting. Last week it was extremely down. I don't know what happened. I am going to try to do my best to promote this podcast. And yeah, man, the future's up in the air for this channel and what it's going to be. Like I said, I'm working on 10 small videos, and I am pulling up another 10 ideas for 10 other videos. I want to get 20 videos, 20 extra videos outside of these podcasts for this year. And also, I will be reviewing the rest of the Dark Side of the Ring episodes for this season, and I will go back and do season one as well. But yeah, man, I was really disappointed last week with the views. I don't know, maybe because it was WrestleMania week and it was WrestleMania weekend and it was super busy. But we'll see how this video does. Yeah, I'm just taking it week by week, honestly, with this podcast, with this channel, and we'll see where it goes. I have big plans for this channel that I hope we can reach, big goals for this podcast, but we will see how it goes. I'm not quitting on you guys, so don't think that I'm quitting, but it is, it's tough, man. It's tough. I would appreciate a lot if you guys were to share this or send it to other wrestling fans that you know, but I got to figure it out. Maybe put some money from my pocket into promoting this, but I will try to figure this out to the best of my ability. Again, this is Kevin Danger. I want to thank you guys. Stay safe out there. Do everything that you got to do. Stay at home. Do what you can. Wash your hands. Make sure you are social distancing from everybody. And yeah, man, just stay safe. You know, can't wait for this thing to be over and we can go outside. Here in Utah, it kind of sucks because it's starting to warm up. It's starting to get up in the 80s, which is nothing, right? Because in the summer we get up to the hundreds, and it's gonna suck if it's gonna be a hot summer and you're inside. I mean, we do have fans for AC and all that stuff, but yeah, it's not the best option that I want to go with. That anybody wants to go with in the world. So yeah, man. So that's basically it. I know, like I said about those videos, once all 10 videos are the audio is recorded, I will go on from there. I got to record the audio first, and then I got to put the videos together. And yeah, man. And then I got the other 10 that I'm working on are gonna be. I think they're all gonna be experimental. So we'll see how those do. Like I said, I'm just trying to come up with ideas on what to do to try to grow this subscribers. We are stuck at 5 subscribers, and I think I saw we have a total of 134 views with all the videos together, which isn't bad. But like I said, man, I got to figure out ways for this thing to grow. So, again, this has been Kevin Danger. Thank you guys for listening. I will see you guys next week. Until then, y'all have a good weekend. Y'all stay safe out there. Peace, y'all.